Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the Metaphysical Hour. I'm Julia Cannon, and this is my co-host, Tracie Mahan. And we're doing the shuffle behind the scenes again.
Yeah, always behind the scenes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, everybody come join me and Julia.
And this is my co-host,
Hold
Tracie
on, you're
Mahan.
gonna hear it. Look at that. I'm trying
We're doing the shuffle behind. In case you didn't hear it the first and second time, this is Tracie Mahan.
Usually I'm faster at muting that. Okay. Hi, everyone. We have a very active chat room, you guys. Hello to Tracie Ajid, I think is how you say this name. How awesome. Deborah, Linda, Margaret, Therese, Kathy, Carol. And if you guys want to join all those wonderful names that we just called off, come on over to BBS Radio TV on Facebook, and we have a live feed going where you can see our pretty little faces, and you can get in the chat room and chat with us. Hello, Holly. Holly made it. Oh, we got New York, Arizona, Utah mountains. I realize they're telling us where they're from too. Indonesian nation, Missouri,
cool.
Australia.
So they're really close and they're really far.
Yeah, so much fun. Couple Australia, of course. We're just going to have to, once all the traveling opens up freely again, we're just going to have to go to Australia and say hello, you guys.
Absolutely. That will be nice.
Yeah. Southern New Jersey,
okay.
Idaho. Wonderful. So.
Very good. Yay. Yay. And I'm in Arkansas.
And I'm in Oregon. And by the way, I always tell you guys, if you're watching this on YouTube, it's not live, but please go ahead and comment. And we've had some really fun comments about the crystals and that show. And what did we talk about in the last show? We were
talking about, because it was something that happened.
Yeah.
And I wanted to address it, but I don't remember what it was now.
I know that we got a lot of really cool comments. So I just want to thank you guys for commenting over there too. I do like to try and get over there and read everybody's stuff. So I do my best to do that. And Amy is saying hello from Dallas. All right. Yahoo!
Howdy.
Hey, howdy. Yeah.
Howdy, y'all.
Oh my gosh. I swear I've been watching what is it? Yellowstone. It's all about Texas.
Oh, okay.
And I think that's where it's at. Yeah.
So you're hearing howdy and y'all. And
yeah, and you watch something enough, and then you start talking like that, and you start getting your southern drawl and all that stuff. Anyways, it's been
it's and Texas is where you really you'll get it in some of the other southern ones and everything. But I mean, there's an Arkansas accent. But the Texas one is, like you're saying, it's really easy to take on when you're around it. So when I used to live in Texas, when I was little, I lived in Texas. I had that accent. We moved away, and people were always teasing me about my accent. So I worked really hard to work that accent out. And just when I got it all worked out, we moved back to Texas.
That's funny.
And
yeah. You're getting a good crowd of here's where we're at now. Let's see, we got
good.
From
I'd love to hear where you're at.
Well, Amy says howdy back. And Judith is from Georgia. Yay. Oh, going by Judy. Hello, Judy from Georgia. Wonderful. You guys are awesome. Thank you for being here. Oh, we got Ireland in there too, I think. How did I miss that? Okay. I think I got
some of these places.
I got Chicago too.
Wow. I mean, if you think about it, Australia, certain parts of Australia, this is a good time for them because it's in their daytime. But when you get into Europe and things like that, it's late. So, yeah.
So thank you guys.
Yes, absolutely. We're so honored that you're here. It's just. That's why I like to see where you're coming from, because it's accolades to you. You're here, and it's so cool. And oh my gosh, I'm humbled. It's just,
I know, and it's so fun to see. It's all around the world. You guys are all around the world. And Larry is on here. Larry is getting a little handsy. There's these little hands But I think what it means is he's waving, but you know, it's Larry. So I got to say, quit being so handsy, Larry. And they're for you, John, him and Therese.
It might be raising the roof.
Yep. Bam, bam. Oh, Therese is helping us out. We're talking about changing the channel last week. You guys were getting on there, you know, change what you're thinking about, change the direction you're going. Yeah.
Okay, but when you word it that way, that's not triggering anything. What was it? It was that, I mean, that was what was said, but gosh, it's not coming. It must have been something that once I did it, it was.
You know, you're thinking about this and you got to change those thoughts. Change what you're thinking about.
It was like
changing the
yeah, something like a small.
Yeah.
Okay. That is wild because
we're gonna be halfway through this and she'll be like, oh
yeah, I will, because it was like last, it was like, we got to talk about this, it's so important. And then now I'm like, what are you talking about? I mean, I remember it, but I don't
it really is important because, you know, so many people were practicing it, and that's what the comments were, now that I'm thinking about, because I was like, I know there's a reason I wanted to bring that up, but so many people had practiced changing their channel, and including myself. The weird contraption with the bead.
Yes, thank you.
That was from Tiffany. Yes.
And then that moved to the TV with the channels. Thank you. Now I remember. And your thoughts, whatever your thought is, it'll shoot out.
Singing a new song. Weird. Yes. Yeah. Changing timelines. Thank you, Tiffany.
Yes. She does it all the time. We'll be talking. And I'm like, what was it? And she remembers it all.
We're just gonna shout out to Tiffany, because she has to be the mind for not just for herself and not just for you, Julia, but for me, Erica, for Monica, for Sarah.
That is accurate.
That is accurate. Loving it. Okay. And she writes on here, I get her. You guys are awesome. All right. So that was really good, though. I have to say, I used it this last week, you know, changing. It's like, well, I was telling you before we got on here, the dryer just said, nope, not doing it anymore. You overwork me. I'm done. And so I had to, but this all happened on the same day. The pilot light on the water heater got blown out. Now the water heater's fine. We just lit the pilot light, but the kids get in the shower. It's like, it's so cold. I'm like, uh-oh. Anyways, luckily that was just the, and Erica's on here going, that was very accurate. Okay. So for those of you who don't understand what we're saying, accurate, when Tiffany says it, is like, it's like magic to our ears. That is
accurate. Okay. First of all, if you don't know, Tiffany is my daughter, and Tracie's adopted daughter.
I just call her my daughter too, but yeah. So it was kind of an inside joke, but let's let everybody.
Well, she works in a very scientific field. She is analytical. She's just so funny when you're talking to her, and it's just something she just does, and she'll just say accurate, but it's the way she says it. It's just.
You know, Tiffany, if you want to call in and say accurate for everyone, I'll give you that link. Anyway.
She's probably saying no, thank you.
So I had to change my channel. I had a choice to either get kind of frustrated with everything going, well, I'm not working, or just be like, all right, so this will get fixed. And we ordered a new element for the dryer and put it in, and it worked for like 5 seconds and stopped. And we're like, what the heck? It worked. Then it didn't. So then pulled it out again and played around with it, put it back in, and it worked again. And I was like, haha, fixed. This time it's staying on. Put everything back on, start the dryer, went in the other room, came back, like 5 minutes later, not working. So I was like, enough.
That's when you kick it.
So I wasn't supposed to talk to it the way I did. Anyway.
But kicking is always effective.
Yeah, kicking. You know what? There's still time because it's still in the house. Okay. I'll kick it. But anyway, so yeah, so I just put it out there. Okay, I'm just going to look for, just go and look for a used set. Somebody's got to be selling one. And never got upset, never got like, instead I used all my staircase railing as a clothes dryer and all that good stuff.
Yeah.
So
isn't that fun?
You know what? The only part that bothers me is drying the towels on that thing, because they come out kind of like sandpaper instead of soft and fluffy.
Yeah.
And so, it's like getting a good back scratch, but other than that, everything was fine. And that was kind of the attitude I had. And here's the thing, I said, all right, I got to find a washer and dryer, because my only window of time was from 2 o'clock to 5 o'clock today to go get it. Because tomorrow I've got sessions. My son's birthday's on Sunday, and then I start a full week and I was like, the only window I have, 2 to 5.
It's right here.
Found a set, sent it off. Do you still have it? Writes back, I still have it, just before my session that I did today started. Said, great, can I come take a look? Between 2 and 5, I went and got that washer and dryer. It looks brand new. Got it for an excellent price. And here we are. So thank you, universe.
Because you could have had, it was your choice, your free will to have a totally different experience.
Yep. Yeah. So there it is. And it's kind of funny, because I feel like that opportunity has come across my plate a couple of times this week, where things aren't what I was thinking they were going to be. And it's like, oh boy, what am I going to do with that? And then it's like, you know what? It's okay. Done. Do it. Yeah. So that's been my experience. I got a good forward motion out of last week's show. So I'm hoping everybody else, and the fact that they're remembering what it was even better than we did.
Yeah, thank you guys.
So,
you were listening.
And if you didn't hear last week's show, you might want to go listen to the archive, because it was pretty good information about changing the way you're thinking. All right, so now what pearls of wisdom did you drum up to offer?
It's your turn this week.
I wouldn't put that in my lap. Did you not just hear my experience of being
okay. Well, here's something that I know that you love to do, and we did it. I shared this morning, and I thought, well, I'm not going to do it this evening, because that's kind of crazy to do the same thing. I'm not going to actually share the dream, but it was about a dream, and we were talking about the theme of the show is sleep, and see, my memory. I'm definitely in 5D, because I have no memory. Anyway, but sleep and I can't remember what the second one was, but then out of body experiences. So anyway, it was like the things that we do, when we're not physically active all day long. Dreams, sleep, and out of body experience. Maybe that was it. Okay, so the dreams was a part of it, and it was like, and we love to dream interpret, and stuff like that. What does this mean? And everything, and I have dreams, but most of the time I forget them. Usually, the only ones I remember maybe a snippet of is the ones I have right before I wake up, and sometimes they're so profound. But we're probably having profound stuff like that all night long. It's just those right before you wake up. That's because you're going through that theta state as you come back out, and that's why you remember them.
Yeah.
But anyway, as we're starting the show, and I'm like, okay, dreams, okay. They'll probably wanting to know about interpreting dreams and things like that. You're anticipating what's going to happen on the show. And all of a sudden it dawned on me, it's like, wait a minute, I had a really weird dream this morning.
Let's talk about your weird dream.
It was, well, I talked about, hopefully it's not repeating for everybody, but it was weird. But it was okay. So the premise, what I can remember, and Kaya gave a really interesting interpretation of what he got. I was taking it from what I know about dream interpretation, and he came from a whole other angle, and I was like, whoa, okay, so that's whatever. But it means that you have a lot of different ways that you can look at things. Okay, so the premise of it, I know there was a whole lot that happened before, but all of a sudden I'm like a substitute school nurse. It's like I'm in an institution or something where I'm just filling in for somebody, and I'm just filling in as a nurse there. And I guess I was finishing up the day's thing. I think it was my first day on. I was just doing this, and I'm getting things kind of sorted out and rounded up for the day, because I'm going to leave, right? I've got something else I'm going to. And there's a bag, like a little gift bag, you know, the small one, like you would, has the handles on it and the whole thing, you know, and it was sitting on a table. So I go over there, okay, see what this is about. And there's a little baby, I mean, tiny baby in it, but it's dead.
Okay.
Yeah, it's in this bag. I'm like, okay, that's why is there, where did this come from? What is this about and everything? And I'm okay, and it's very disturbing, but I've got to go to whatever it was I need to go to. I need to go. And I'm like, okay, I'll come back and I will deal with this. I'll figure out, you know, I got to report it. I've got to, you know, something I have to do here.
Yes.
So I left for whatever it was. When I came back, I looked in the bag and there was that baby, but now there's another baby laying on top of that baby, but this one's in a plastic bag that is stapled shut. And I'm like, my gosh, what is happening? You know, and I'm freaking out, this 2 dead babies. But then as I'm starting to, you know, like I gotta whatever have to do, reporting things, I noticed movement or noticed something. The one that was in the bag was not dead. It still had some life. So I'm like, oh my God, it's going to die. So I tear open the bag so it can breathe, you know, and it's like it's moving a little bit. It's not, you know, conscious mind as I'm coming to, I'm like, yeah, you got to report these things. You need to feed that baby. You need to, it's like, what, and not, I wasn't doing those things. I was just like, give it air. I was giving it air so it could live. And then another, and that's, I just remember that was kind of just this image of these 2 babies, you know, one on top of the other, kind of, it was just the way it was. Now, there was another thing in there. It was like, this is all happening at the same time. I think that's where I had to leave and come back to, is I was having to move my home. So I was moving my home anyway, but I was having to pack my house up. Like for some reason, I thought a few hours was plenty of time to pack my house up and move it.
Wow.
Yeah, a few hours. And I remember, and so it must have been some consciousness coming in there, because when I'm doing, I'm like, who can pack up a house in a few hours and do that? And so anyway, but that's where, okay, good. So somewhere, and I kept, so while I'm working with these babies or trying to figure out what's going on with these babies, I keep thinking, I gotta go move my house. I gotta go get packed, you know, so I'm doing this thing. It's tough, so.
Yeah. Well, yeah, you would be in a panic.
Mm-hmm. But that was it.
Oh, okay. So I am using Betty Bethard's dream book.
Okay.
The dream book. Hold on. I'm going to look up a couple of things before my mouse starts moving here.
Mm-hmm. Well, I wonder, is anybody else, any dream interpreters out there? I can't even talk.
Well, babies are usually about the new beginnings, right?
Yeah, and that's what I was thinking. I see new beginnings, but you have a dead one and then one that's almost dead, and then it's actually alive still. So it's like, okay.
Okay. So babies are new birth within self aspects coming into being, new beginnings, openness, untapped potential for growth. Untapped potential for growth. The number 2, what did you say? You gave yourself 2 hours?
A few hours. I don't remember how, but it was 2 babies. And then I just know it was like an afternoon is what I was. So yeah. It's like, I'm thinking like a few hours, you know.
Okay, but 2 babies. So balance of masculine and feminine energies. Balance in some area of living is needed. So when you were telling that story, what was coming in for me is that you had, okay, so you had these, you know how we sit there and we dream and we think about, okay, this is what I want to do, this is what I want to do.
Yeah.
And we have these things. We had 2 things that you wanted to do in the world that didn't happen. Those new beginnings died out, didn't happen.
Well, one died.
But
one still has some life.
One that you thought was going, that was no longer alive.
Yeah.
Boom.
Yeah.
Like another door opens. So it'd be really curious to see what's going on with what doors open for you that you thought, oh my gosh, I thought that was all said and done and over and and I wasn't going to be able to do that. And now this door opens and I'm going to be able to do it after all.
Actually, something happened today. This was this morning and today. And so it's now that you're saying, it's like, it could have been that, but it was just something that I couldn't figure out how to make it work. And I had one concept of what I thought something was, and ended up that it was, oh, this is interesting. I thought something was one thing and it was actually two things. That's what I found out today. It's two things. And now I'm understanding how to make the two things work together.
Nice.
And that was the whole new thing. I was like, oh my gosh. And now I'm all excited about it because it's a whole new thing to work
so
on.
The way you thought it was,
Mm-hmm.
it happened.
Out.
The baby that wasn't alive. And the one that still had breath in it opened up new doors for two new things.
Yeah. And then the house, the packing up the house and moving it. I just
I
hadn't done it yet. I just knew I had to do it. So
the house is you. So was there a certain room you were in, or?
Yeah, what I kept seeing was, and it was like, how am I going to get that off the wall? It was really funny because it was like this house with really tall ceilings, and there was a wall hanging up way up high. And I'm like, we got to pack this thing up. How am I going to get that down? That's all I kept seeing was, how am I going to get that?
The way I would interpret that is your higher self, and you're wondering how you're going to get the information you need to come in.
Ooh, that's cool.
Yeah, because you got to unpack that information.
Yeah, I've got it. Well, I was supposed to pack it.
Well, still, you got to get it, because you're like, how am I going to get that?
Yes, I've got to get it. Yeah, exactly. How am I going to get that?
Yeah, so that you can take it with you or do what you were going to do with it. Yeah, very cool.
Very cool. Yeah. Okay. Any other dreamers out there?
Any other dreamers? Let's see. Okay, so thank you to beautiful chat. I call you guys the chat room angels. When someone's got a question and somebody in the chat room dives on that and answers it for us. Thank you so much. You were being asked, where do you and Kaya broadcast your Facebook chat?
On Facebook, on the Dolores Cannon.
The Dolores Cannon page.
So
we got
Facebook.
Yes. Alyssa jumped in there, and so did Summer. I saw her in there at one point. Maybe she
perfect.
Off,
yeah, it's done there, but then it's also shared, I think, on other pages at the same time. I don't know. The recordings get moved out there.
I think they go live there. Yeah,
it might be.
So
I don't do that.
Speaking of adopted daughters, Summer is another one of my adopted daughters. I had all boys.
So Tiffany,
Tiffany, you have a sister.
Yeah.
Summer, you have a sister. Okay. Nobody's posted any dreams yet, but I had an interesting one the other morning where, well, first off, I think Chris is listening, and I had a dream the other day where she kept wrapping these little boxes of those chocolate covered cherries, like at Christmas time. And I was like, you're always so nice. She was wrapping one for everybody. And I'm like, you're always so nice. You think of everyone. You're always so giving. She really is. I had to call her and tell her. And she goes, oh, I love those things. So it made sense. I did not know, but I know what I'm getting her next year for Christmas.
There you go. 10 boxes.
Yeah, 10 boxes. So be prepared, Chris. You're going to get a lot of them. Put some in the freezer. So she says, thank you. Anyway, I had this other dream, not the Chris dream, but I had another dream where, and I found it to be interesting because we always talk about these things, it's like we have things that block us, energy that blocks us. And sometimes we don't even know it's there. We don't know what that thing is that's holding us back, or where the hesitation comes from, or why we're not moving forward on something. And in this dream, it was my left foot down by the ankle. And there was this person in the dream, they grabbed my foot and they said, did you know you had this sore on your ankle? And I looked at it and I said, I didn't even know that was there. I couldn't even feel it. And he goes, here. And it was like a little infection, like a pimple or something, but like it had this little, and he was like fixing it for me, and he fixed it. And I was like, man, that's so weird. I didn't even know that was there. Thank you. So I wake up and I'm going, okay, left foot, It's something from the past, right? Or something that I've been bringing forward with me that I didn't even know was there. And it was by the ankle, so the flexible part. So here's the other thing that was really weird. I'm sitting on I'm sitting kind of crisscross on a chair. This was yesterday. So I was sitting there yesterday. I looked down and it became very obvious to me that I'm looking at the spot on my foot that this in the dream, the sore was, and I can see my heartbeat. And I'm like, oh my gosh, right over the heart line, right? So something that was affecting the heart, that was something that I didn't even know was still there from the past. So went into doing some clearing work around that and just asking for that to be, cleared away. And I assume that, and I won't say names of who was in the dream, but I'm assuming that it was a masculine energy in the dream holding my foot. And so I related it to the person that's holding the foot. This sore is probably connected.
I like that they're holding your foot too. That makes it difficult to move. It makes it difficult to walk forward or do whatever. So it's like that. So it's something that's holding you back, essentially.
Yeah. And not aware that it's happening, not aware that it's there.
Yeah.
How many times have we done that where we're like, but I already healed that. I already did my work around that. And it's still there. And it's like, it is. It comes up in little layers and stuff. And so, you healed it. Now this time it comes up and it's not near as triggering, is it? And then the next time it's like, now you're aware of it. And then the next time it's like, and now it's gone. So it does. Sometimes it surfaces like that. Okay. We got some questions.
Okay, good.
We covered that, right? Like,
I think so. That's good. I love that. Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's showing you how you can pick it apart. It's like what stands out.
Yeah. Still something there festering a little bit, but it was little. But it was right on that.
Well, that's why it's like a little. It was like a little pimple. It's a little thing.
Yeah, it was a little thing, and it was an annoyance that I wasn't even aware was there. It's like when you get used to the static on the TV, and then you turn it off, and you're like, oh, I didn't even know that was bothering me.
Yeah.
That. Okay, so Linda has a question. How come the SC says we are off doing great work when we are sleeping, and instead of knowing what it is, we get our remember truly weird and non-essential dreams. So what we get is weird and non-essential dreams versus remembering where we're off and what
that's because we have that conscious mind filter going on. And so, it's off doing everything, but the conscious mind is still trying to sort through what information is coming in. And then it doesn't understand it. It's going to make it into something that's acceptable. It's going to make it, because it's like you're out flying. I don't know what that is. So it makes a flying dream maybe, or, it's going to do something that's not showing you exactly. Sometimes you will be shown exactly or very close to it. But it's like it does this filter so that it makes it acceptable. It won't be scary. It won't be whatever, but that's where the interpretations are from. Some, like this, it's so much of it is about ourselves. It's like you're doing, that book is doing. It's like, it's about you. Sometimes you will have dreams. You're actually in a place, and that's where the flying dreams are usually when that's your soul dreams. That's where you're off doing your stuff. What would you say are some others that where you're definitely at, you're in the scene and wherever you are doing something?
You can get like the prophetic dreams, the ones, the visitation dreams, the flying dreams, the lucid dreaming.
When you start analyzing the dream within the dream, see, you're there.
That's pretty crazy when that happens. The other thing, Linda, I want you to keep in mind is that we are multidimensional beings. So you can be in that dream state getting information for the conscious mind. There is an aspect of you working on that way. Another aspect of you could be off doing something else, joining up with an avatar, going into star collectives and meeting up and getting information or sharing information. We have no clue how powerful we are. And the more we find out, the more we still just don't know how powerful we truly are.
Yeah, and that's a wonderful point too, because you imagine how confusing it would be to be here in this consciousness, knowing what you're doing here, and then be aware of all these other things. See, that's why this filter is here. I mean, on this other level, we are aware of it. It's all happening, but the conscious mind is filtering that out because it wants to stay focused on what you're here for, what you're doing here. So that's where that filter comes in.
Okay.
Yeah,
I like the way this
but we are
starts
getting
off.
to where we will be more aware. But it's a gradual process because
But yeah, we're expanding the mind so we can filter all of that. And
absolutely, we can differentiate it. Differentiate it. But then that's where we have to get, but it has to be done gradually. If it all just boom, that's where you get in mental institutes because it's so much, it's like, I don't know what's happening.
Yes, but I wasn't expecting you to say that. So yeah. But yeah, that's where it can become too much and overwhelming and you want to quiet the mind. That kind of
absolutely
thing. Yeah. So
my hair, I'm really bummed up. My hair is weird today. So.
I just want to smile every time you did. You should have saw what she did for me.
Yeah.
It looks great. It looks great. Okay, we're going to focus on the fish in the background, or the soul interpretation of you and the painting.
There you go.
Okay, Anita, I love how you word this very first part. I have been having a ton of weird, disturbing dreams lately. Now that is a great lead. Maybe you should start a book like that because I would want to read the rest of it.
It's a great hook.
A great hook right there. Okay, a recent one is I was watching my 1-month-old granddaughter and left her on the changing table in the middle of a mall area.
Okay.
I couldn't remember exactly where I left her.
Oh, don't you hate those dreams? Gosh.
I've done that before where, I'm like, I'm going somewhere and then I realize I didn't bring the kids with me. Like, where are my kids? And then I get all panicked because I forgot the kids. Okay, so what do you make of that? She left her granddaughter on the changing table in the mall. Middle of the mall, nonetheless.
Middle of the mall, yeah. Well, one, it sounds like exposure because you're in the middle and there's nothing hidden. So you're doing stuff out in the open. The 1-month-old, I mean, there again, that's your new things. So, but changing, but then forgetting. I don't know. You interpret it, Tracie. I'm not the interpreter. Okay, I just know some things, but.
Okay, so first off, I want to say I just put my little cursor over Anita's name, and it looks like she is with the Ohio Rock and Crystal Shop. So everybody over there in Ohio, go give her a holler and check out her rocks and crystals. Okay, so the 1-month-old granddaughter left. So all the people in your dream are you, unless of course it is one of those visitations or prophetic dreams or something of that nature. So the granddaughter is you. What does she represent to you? A younger part of yourself, inner child, that type of a thing. And then the mall, in the middle of the mall, all these other people, shadowy aspects of self, other parts of you, other things that are being affected by this inner child piece that you were afraid or don't know what you did with it. So it could be some inner child healing that was taking place that you were doing on an astral plane where you're healing a part of yourself and your granddaughter triggered it for you and brought it in that, oh, when I was an infant, maybe, maybe mom, I don't know what your dynamic was, but see, I was like the third baby in a row, 3 years in a row. I think I got put in a crib a lot, and that's not to say anything about anything. It was like, it was the 70s, everybody's in cloth diapers, laundry's going constantly. I got 3 babies in my hands. I got to put one down. This one can't crawl away. So that kind of thing. And maybe, I remember I had to clear some stuff around wanting attention or physical touch or just having some sort of closeness. And so it could be something like that, Anita, where you are bringing up a memory, your granddaughter brought up a memory for you. So when you see your granddaughter, you know, what is it that you want to give her that maybe you didn't get when you were an infant? You might find that you want to snuggle her a lot or give her lots of smoochy kisses or whatever, you know, give her 100 pacifiers to choose from. I don't know. Maybe you want to take the socks off her feet. Babies hate those. No. I remember one time Josh was just crying and crying and crying in the car, and I was like, what is going on? What is going on? And something told me to take the socks off his feet, and I did. And he slept the rest of the car ride.
Yeah, it was too hot.
It was just too much. Didn't like the socks on his feet.
Mhm.
They have the cutest little baby feet. How do you not play with the little toes? Right? So let us know if we're even hitting it.
Yeah,
anything close. Let's see. I don't see anything from Anita. So let's go to the next one.
okay.
I don't know if we're going to be able to get to everybody today. You guys are on it today. Thank you.
I think we hit something here.
I know. Okay, so Alyssa says, yes, I had a crazy dream on Tuesday. You know, if you guys didn't start it with crazy or what was the other word, disturbing, I probably wouldn't read them. Okay, crazy dream on Tuesday. Was standing on my back deck. My dog was in the yard. All of a sudden, he ran and lunged towards the fence gate, attacking a dog that was trying to get into the yard. But the dog morphed into a black shadow. And then it says Seymour. My dog was able to defeat it, and after ran over and sat next to me. Okay, I have opinions about this already.
Oh, I know you do. That
Was-
one. That one's
very-
easier.
Yeah, was very intense and set the tone. I think that might be tone for the rest of the week, actually. Completely shifted my energy to dense and low. Would love an interpretation. Okay, you first. Go, go, go.
Well, I mean, if there was something happening that you were feeling like you were being invaded on or attacked or something like that, something's encroaching on you within from yourself. It's like you're feeling, maybe you're not feeling safe and secure, but it's showing you that you have, you know, you are safe, you are, you know, you are protected. Then that's, you know, that's always there. Yeah, and again, it could be like yours, like that shadowy figure. That's interesting that uses those words after you did that other thing with the shadow. And it could be that part of yourself that you're afraid to look at, you're afraid to, you know, to be open to it. But it's like, again, it's saying you're protected, you know, you have your guard dog there.
Yeah.
There's nothing to be afraid of.
One of the other things that I want to say is this is what a dragon looks like in our world.
Let's see your fire latte.
Put me back.
You can so easily do that, make a little picture and put fire coming
Yeah,
out.
the kids got her a baby dragon outfit for a dog. You know, during Halloween, they had the costumes and stuff. She was just a little too small for it, but it was so cute. Anyway, okay, so one, it's interesting that your dog morphed into the shadow energy and then defeated the other dog. Definitely somewhere where you're probably feeling attacked in life, somebody coming at you or life itself coming at you. Your stuff is coming up, your shadows are coming up, same thing. We're talking the same language here. But again, you defeat them. So the low energy that you were experiencing that set the tone for the week, you know, sometimes we go through experiences where we're going to experience that.
Yeah.
And sometimes we get to clear it and sometimes we got to experience it. And so because that didn't clear for you, I don't know what kind of clearing work you did around letting that energy go. But what I would say is if that ever comes around for anybody again, and you're doing your clearing, you're calling in your angels or whatever you do to clear the energy, and it feels like it's looming, go sit down with it and have a conversation because it's there.
Yeah, talk to it.
Talk to it.
Talk to it. What do you?
We always agree.
What are you trying to show me? What do you want me to know?
What do you want me to know? Because it definitely is showing you something. But my gut feeling with this, Alyssa, is that you moved something really big energetically, and you may have even done it for more than just yourself. Like it might have been a planetary purge. And so that might be why it had kind of a, shook you up a bit and left you in that space, because it feels to me like it was a big purge, and hopefully all of that is now cleared out. But keep surrounding yourself in white light. Your mom always called in the crystal pyramid, right?
Yeah, the pyramid of white light. But that's what the dog is. I mean, that's your
Yeah.
protection.
Exactly. Yeah. Okay, Margaret says, I have dreams that come true when I awake. My great grandma did too. We know when things are going to happen. So yeah, that would be an example of
Yeah, the prophetic one.
Yeah, the prophetic.
Are you able to tell the difference? Like, are they all that way, or is it some do that and you can tell the difference between a prophetic dream and a symbolic dream?
Yeah. So the same person, she said, and so Margaret, you're giving us the examples of all the different ones. She says, I've always been close to life and death. I have literal dreams. My grandma shows me heaven after she died in my dream. And so there, there's a visitation, there's all kinds of cool things. Okay, Anita said, oh, I don't think that was to us though. Where did I leave off? Okay, Larry. I look forward to sleep, but I wake up so tired because my dreams because of my dreaming, and I'm exhausted. It seems to be a never-ending cycle. How can I find balance? Restful sleep, still work while I sleep, and awaken refreshed. Okay.
You know what I just got as you're saying that? It's like there's a way to, I think when we wake up so tired, it's because somehow we're consciously and physically part of that. And it's like that we're aware of it. The body is resting, but we're aware of this going on. And that's why it's feeding back. So, because it doesn't make sense. The soul is doing something that it's doing. It should not make the physical body tired. Okay. Yeah. These are two, but somehow that connection that's there, and it's the awareness is what I'm hearing, and the awareness of it. So yeah. If you can, so it's almost like do something, and Tracie's going to tell you what to do, because I just keep seeing like a drawing a wall or something to make a barrier. It's like this body's going to get its rest. You go do this. And I don't have to be aware of everything you're doing. So this is what popped into my head while you were talking. I heard, tell him to quit saying, I want to remember. So Larry, and anyone else who does this, quit saying, I want to remember what I'm doing, because right now our filters are not quite all the way gone yet for some of these things. We will get to remember them, but this is how they're showing you wanted to remember that you worked, or that you went and did something out of body while you were in your sleep state. So your body, awareness thing, so your body is coming back tired so that you could remember that you went out and worked. So let's clear that and tell them, pick something new, pick a different thing to say and see how that works out. But remember, maybe I want to be fully refreshed. Be completely as a sign that I was out working in the astral realms, I'm going to wake up fully refreshed. Let's all do that one. So very cool. Okay, let's see. Okay, Amy says she had loved ones visit her in the dreams. Once I realize that I'm interacting with them, I immediately wake up. Oh yeah, that happens too. That is a bummer also, because what happens here, Amy, is you're almost in that lucid dream. And because you're becoming aware that this is a visit, not a dream. And then, but it takes you getting to that point where you're almost awake when you get that realization. And that's why it pops you out. Yeah, it's so easy to slip out at that point. But believe me, you had a lot more experience before that happened. Yeah, especially if it hits on personal stuff, and you'll just, because you're really wanting, you want to know what happens, and that right there is what pulls you out. Yeah. Okay. I had a dream for years where I was searching for stuff in grocery stores. I do that too, or school. Okay. But I didn't know what it was I was looking for. I've had it where I'm trying to cross a road and I can only move like molasses. Yeah.
I'm in the halls of the school and I don't know where my classes are or what classes I'm taking.
You can't remember the combination on the
The
locker.
combination.
Yeah, or you're in the test, you're taking a test and you have not studied. One of mine, because I was in marching band, and you have to memorize, the whole routine is memorized and this music is memorized, everything is memorized, so it's all up here. And it's probably a fear is that you will forget something. And so it comes up in dreams, but it's always in dreams. It's a lot of times in dreams. Is I'm on the field and we're doing our thing. And I'm like, I haven't been practicing. I have no idea what we're doing. I don't know you people. I don't know anything. So I'm just faking it. I'm trying to go along with this person next to me. Okay, I'm just gonna,
Now, in real life, Julia actually was quite good at what she did in band. Didn't you get like awards and maybe be put in the paper or something over something like that? Maybe.
I enjoyed band. I really
yes, of course. So cool. Okay. Okay, I guess I'll read this one too. I dreamed somebody lost the baby when I was in the 3rd grade and came to school and turned out that my 3rd grade teacher's daughter had lost a baby.
Hmm.
So those are the kind, and these are all, the last 2 were Margaret, where she's, or maybe even 3. Because she's having all the dreams we're talking about. So thank you for sharing how those are different.
Yeah.
And how that plays
but
out.
Is there something within the dream or did you get to where you could tell the difference? I mean, not necessarily, because afterwards when it happens, then okay, that was definitely that. But was there anything within the dream or immediately after that helped you know that was prophetic or it was a symbolic dream? I'm just wondering if
that's for Margaret. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So Kathy said, and I'm sorry, I only giggled at this because I'm like, oh yeah, I have had that. How about when you dream all of the sudden you just realize that you have no clothes on?
Oh my gosh, yes.
Fully exposed, people. You're fully exposed. There's
fully exposed. You're not hiding nothing. And trying to hide behind all these little things when you become aware of it, it's like, oh my gosh. Or sometimes you're aware of it. Sometimes I've been in a club or something I'm aware, and it's like, but I'm not trying to hide. So that's another one. But usually I'm trying to hide because I'm not clothed.
Yeah. Amy says she was in band too. She played the clarinet.
I played the flute. Very good. Yoo-hoo, bandies.
I played the cheerleader in the stands going, you guys sound great. Woo! But you know what? All of my kids love music. And 2 of them were drummers. And today I had a conversation with Jaden. He wants to pursue something with his voice as far as singing and stuff like that.
Cool.
So very much it's part of the family bloodline. I just was not gifted with anything.
It's not in your blood.
You do not want to hear me sing or play an instrument. Okay. Okay, what was I going to say now? Oh, so Alyssa said that she does sage in Palo Santo, and I feel reminded that we have a shadow side now and can slip through when the going gets tough. Yeah, slip through that. But you know what? The shadow side is something that, you just love it. Love it. Mm-hmm. Oh, I made a bad decision the other day. I love that I have the diversity of doing that. And that's one of the things that's been a big preacher the last couple of weeks through some of the work that I do is that have gratitude even for the things you think didn't work out.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It's so powerful and it shifts everything. And it just turns it around. But love those parts of ourselves, the shadow parts, the things that we hide from everybody else. And once you can start loving those parts and no longer judging it, then you don't have to hide it. And that's what pops you into 5D. When you don't feel like you have anything to hide anymore, and you don't have to hide it if you're not.
That's when you'll be having the dreams where you're naked and you don't care.
Yeah. Bring on the naked dreams.
Now, we'll all be having naked dreams.
I don't mind having the naked dreams as long as I got the foxy body to go with it.
Yeah, exactly.
That's okay. So, okay, let's see. We got one more here. When I was a child, I had reoccurring dreams of falling off a cliff, falling, then wake up right before I hit the bottom. Okay, so there's ideas around that too. What do you get with that?
Well, go ahead, because I know
Falling is usually re-entry of you
Yeah.
coming back from the astral plane back into
Coming
your
back,
body.
yeah.
It's your soul coming back in.
And then when you wake up before you fall, it's because you entered the body, everything connected. And
Yeah.
then, yeah.
So this is an easy answer, but Bruno would like to know if you talk to your mother on the other side.
Yeah. Well, here's how, I mean, I talked to my mother on the other side, but I don't have to dream to do it, but she has come into many dreams.
Yeah.
And it's so funny because it's usually several days or not, sometimes it's days before I fully get what it was about, but it's usually a while. Most of those in the dream, I'm not sitting there interpreting them. So I'm not, which is good because I'm part of it and everything, but afterwards, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I know what just happened. I was just, mom was there, whatever what was going on. But in fact, you read my mind because I was just thinking about, wondering if I should share this, but I have shared this before and I'll do it very quickly. But after she passed, it was like 2 or 3 days after she passed, I had this dream with her. And it was to tell me the exact moment that she passed, because I thought I knew when she passed. And she was telling me that, no, it was much earlier than that. It was as soon as, it was a whole long story, but it was as soon as she was rolled into the hospital, she was gone. And that's what she was telling me.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
But remember last week how you had the orb dancing around. And if you guys haven't seen last week's show, it's timestamped on my YouTube page. If you want to go to my YouTube page, I think it's 8 minutes and 33 seconds.
Yeah.
It's been timestamped. You guys are watching, we're timestamping it. And it does this little dancey thing. It's obviously not a dust thing because it does this twirling thing and then takes off.
Well, maybe next week
when I saw it, I was like, oh, yeah, that's your mom.
Yeah, very cool. Maybe next week I can go into it more detail. I thought I had talked about it before, but maybe not. But I know we only have like 2 minutes, so we need to kind of wind it up here. But let's do that. If I remember, we can.
Audience, we always show up not knowing what we're going to talk about. So just remind us, we're going to talk about your mom, the story with your mom.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. So tell everyone how they can become a practitioner or find a practitioner for QHHT.
Yeah, absolutely. Go to qhhtofficial.com and you can get all the information you need about becoming a QHHT practitioner or having a session. So get everything you need, and you can use Tracie's code, The Magic is Real, to get 10% off of the level 1 course, if that's what you'd like to do. And then also I have a Soul Speak. I have the Soul Speak, The Language of Your Body, the book, as well as an online course. So go to juliacannon.com to get more information on that. And Tracie, how can people find you?
You can find me on qhhtofficial.com. Find a practitioner. I'm in the Portland, Oregon area. I'm about 30 minutes out of Portland. And in a little town called Forest Grove is where I practice, if you guys want to look it up. And then traciemahan.com. You'll find everything else I do there. So yeah. Thank you.
Thank you, guys. You have been fantastic. I love all the questions and the sharing, and this has been wonderful.
So very wonderful.
Yeah.
I'm looking to see if I have time to read this. After the orb, she had a green circle in her soul picture behind you. So now I got to go look at that. Thank you.
Cool.
I didn't know that.
Something happened.
Something did. For sure. And what a profound show it had been. It had really affected a lot of people. So that's one to go watch, you guys.
Yeah.
And this one, but that one too. Okay. Bye, everybody.
All of them. Bye. Yeah. Love you.